Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today, it is time for the Musical Alchemist, Eileen Leenie Perez, live in the studio. We're going to kick off with a song that she did with an amazing artist by the name of Black Covers. This is You Got a Friend.
When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there. You've got a friend. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, keep your head together and call my name out loud now, and soon you'll hear me knocking at your door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running, yeah, to see you again. Let me tell you now, winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you, yes, and desert you, and take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running, yeah, to see you again.
I don't know about you. All right, settle. I needed that right now to kick off today. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the show. My name's Jade. This is How to App on iOS. And it's our Friday morning here. Thursday for the rest of you outside of the real world here in the future in Australia. You're doing good. Look at all these little claps and hands, everybody. I hope you got your little emoji fingers ready to throw them into the chat because when we bring in our guest, I want you to, if you are a Wart Warrior and have access to our exclusive emojis, there's a couple of Leenie emojis we're going to have you throw around today. All right. Now, what an angel, yeah? Until I heard her swear for the first time, then I was like, what the hell? Hang on a minute. Is this like me but beautiful? What's going on? So, an incredibly inspiring artist we have on the show today. Very funny, very talented, and I've been waiting a long time to be able to have a chat with her because I just feel like we're going to have a really good rap today. And I'm sure you're all here for a bit of fun and all frivolity and all that kind of stuff. And I need it today because straight after this show, I'm heading over to Pete John's immediately after to talk all things YouTube. So it's a busy day for me. All right, without further ado, we're going to play some of her music today. She's very inspirational. She's what we like to call, a musical alchemist. She's funny as all fuck. She loves a good swear, and she's beautiful to boot. Let's bring her on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our special guest today, Eileen Leenie Perez. Let's Oj. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the
everybody.
show.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're doing good.
Yeah. It's your Friday, but it's still Throat Punch Thursday over here in the States. So
I agree with that statement. It was Throat Punch Thursday yesterday. I feel like I was punched in the throat all day yesterday, and now I'm reaping the rewards with you today. So let's talk about how the hell do all those swears come out of your beautiful mouth, Leenie?
I don't know. They just come right out. It's just natural flow. You know, my mom, it's like I have two older brothers, and the only thing I could say is the only failure my mom ever had was raising a little lady. I just, I don't know. You know, one time, I'll tell you a Chief Daddy story.
Yes.
We refer to my dad as Chief Daddy, and it was right after my mom died. And he and I had not spent that much time together in years. So I'm packing up some stuff, and I come across a box, and I had just finished packing it so perfectly. I mean, it was like Tetris as fuck, you know, just perfect, no extra space. And I found
Tetris as fuck. I'm stealing that.
So I found another, I think they were prayer booklets because my mom was very religious, and I found another one, and I just couldn't bear the thought of having to rearrange the box. And so I'm over here just swearing up a storm, and my dad was just like, who taught you to talk like that? And I'm thinking, this motherfucker over here just, you know, all the time. So anyway, later that day, we are out. We had gone to like Arby's for lunch, and you know, I'm driving him
all the
because
mates.
I didn't. That's right. Yeah, hippie, did you get your Arby's today? So I was driving because, you know, my dad, as he said, had a million things swimming in his head. I'm like, let me drive. So we get up to an intersection, and somebody goes through the stop sign, and then my dad starts swearing at them, and I'm thinking, okay, which words are acceptable and why can he say them, but he got mad at me. It was like that PSA about drugs. It's like, where did you learn this? I learned it from watching you. All right, I learned it from watching you.
It's interesting with swearing because you know how so in Australia it's a rite of passage, all right? But everybody just
Yeah.
swears. Like the F word is something you say by the time you're like 7 years old, and the C word. That has so many meanings here in Australia. Sometimes it means, hey, you're a good C word, or that guy's a terrible C word. And I remember
Is it the literal meaning valley? Isn't that like a literal definition of the
of
sea?
of the sea.
It's a valley.
I've never looked that deep
I
into
don't
it.
know.
I've been
Well,
deep in
we
it, but I've never looked into it.
well, we had a lot of fun with that. It's like, they use valley a lot in the Bible. So if you like
Oh
start doing
God. Oh
passages
God.
and replace it, I know. So I have a tendency to be sacrilegious, and I know you're not offended by
I'm
it,
not.
but
I'm just one.
anyway.
But all right, let's put our disclaimer out. Be awake. Just relax.
Yeah.
No.
So exactly.
I remember when Facebook, Facebook's been around a while, you see those posts every now and again of, people trying to justify swearing, and they're like, actually, it's quite healthy for people to swear. People who swear are intelligent and they are scientists. And it's like, you don't need to justify it. Just fucking swear. Like, it's really not that bad. Unless you're
Exactly.
using it for hatred. Like, that's when it's bad.
Right.
If you use it for hatred, I find, and like when I first started this channel, Pete, who is kind of like my yardstick of YouTube, I learnt lots from him. And ironically, I'm going on his show to talk about YouTube after this. But he's always said to me, just remember, swearing, it's going to put people off. But I can't help it because it's been a part of the way I express myself and make a point. And I think when it's used like that, if you're doing it to make a serious emotion, it works. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I remember. Well, I told you earlier. I realized that I made it through Frank's stream without a single f bomb, and that's a part of who your audience is. So, the idea of mixed company, don't say it in front of grandma,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Um, Once upon a time, when my kids were tweens, early teens, my son came to me and said, Mommy, sister sweared. And I was like, I just looked at him. I was like, why are you a fucking tattletale? And then I turned to my daughter and I was just like, it's just like, just watch it where you are. But and so, there, like you said earlier, as long as you're not using it for hatred
Yeah.
or, I mean, seriously, it feels better to throw an F bomb than as, like poop. You don't get that same, consonants. The
Oh, poop.
yeah,
Yeah. There's definitely a tonality and stuff emphasis that really can express. Like, and I'm the same too. Like, I think people think that because you're known for swearing a little bit, that you can't control it. And like, that's not the case. Like, there's many times I don't swear during the day. Like, as you said, you go to your grandparents'
right.
house. It's not like you can walk in and go, "G'day, cunts, how you all going?" Like, nobody, nobody does that, do they? But
Not that they'll admit, but
no, well, in my head I do it, right? That's my opening for everybody. But so I like swearing. I think it's a great way to express yourself, and but definitely and Frank. Look, speaking of Frank, he's just come in the room. So Frank, I hope you know, Lenie's just told us all that she did control. She put the the swear control
I
knob
try to
on.
be family friendly. So I think I did a good job at it. I should get a gold star for it.
You should have seen the family I went past when I was filming Walk With Me yesterday. The mother leaned down to the kid. It was in a pram and went, "Don't you fucking do that." I thought, wow, that's not very family friendly. I'm sure that kid's only like 5 years old. So family friendly can be defined many different ways.
That's true.
Let's talk about that opening track there, because we were saying before the interview, where is Black Covers?
I know. Last time that I checked in with him, he had said he was going to take a break for summer and come back, and that was 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, first of all, and I said this in one of my last videos, that if you feel called to take a break, take it. The folks who support you for the right reasons and are aligned with you will be there when you get back. You have to take care of yourself first. And I think we're just all anxious for Ingo to get back, because his orchestral covers take music to a different level. So many of our beloved I think he focused a lot on the 80s music, and to hear it through those years, and then me being an orchestra kid, I grew up playing violin. To hear what he was doing, I'm like, man, if I'd heard this as a kid, I would have asked our orchestra directors, like, can we do Living on a Prayer like this? But I haven't checked on him in a while. So I'm just going to trust that he's well. And I told you, it's like I'll send him an email once in a while and just tell him, you crossed my mind. I hope you're well. Don't feel like you have to respond. This message is for you, not for me.
Yeah, and like I was saying before the show, I interviewed him on the channel, and he before the inconvenience in 2020, his job was a live engineer for massive stadiums and stuff. So he had nothing to do. But I think one of the things that people forget sometimes, when you are a giver, you're a person who kind of puts others first ahead of yourself, and that's what he did when he joined this community. He looked for amazing vocalists and wrote songs and put together songs for that artist and showcased that artist. And I remember asking him, going, am I going to get a song? Because I'm getting a bit jealous. I'm not a bad singer. Where's my song? And he went ahead and took one of my performances and added orchestral stuff to one of my performances. I didn't even get a cover to do. He added it to my music, and I was so honored. But I guess it does take a toll being such an empathetic human being and giving so much and platforming people like that. What are your thoughts on people like that?
Oh, well, we did talk about the Christmas group. What was that? Mariah Carey.
My favorite.
And it was one of those things that I hadn't even sung a cover yet, but he invited me into that. And I think he's one of those folks that has a big heart and wants to include everybody.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if he knew how his channel would grow and how warmly received his music would be, because then I think he started getting a lot of suggestions.
Yeah.
As far as like, you should cover this, you should cover that, you should include this person or that person. And I told you earlier that I had heard of you. I hadn't met you yet. And so when we're watching the premiere of All I Want for Christmas Is You, and you're doing your bit. Now everybody's supposed to go on there and be themselves and be Christmassy. And I'm watching, and here comes Jade, Starr, all in the mask, and I'm like, that's my people right there.
That was fun to do, and I knew everybody was going to be really serious in that thing, and I didn't want to be. So and I when I recorded that video, I sent it, and the only person I was worried about was actually Ingo himself. Why is Jade ruining my video clip? It's like...
Yeah, but see, he's one of those folks, though, that he wants his artists to shine their light.
Yep.
And he would give direction as far as, improvement points or, whatever. But he wasn't trying to take away from each person being themselves in their cover. Yeah. Because then it just becomes a reproduction of the song instead of that person's, self.
Yeah.
Doing the song.
Thank you, Live to Fly, David, for the $2 super chat. Very kind. If you want a super chat or super sticker or any of that through the show, you can do so. It helps a lot. I don't know if I'm going to get claimed for any of your covers today. I don't know. I may do. So there you go. There's that. But let's just bounce over here before I hit you with the hard-hitting stuff, the real hard-hitting Walter Cronkite questions I have for you today at Black Covers channel. Because look at this. We've got Hetriani, Enter Sandman. There's so many people in here. Look, there's Jerry Gomes. We've got who else in here? There's lots of people I don't know as well too. There's Gary Hubbs on our thumbnail. There's Craftwork with our friend Welton Kinder. I mean, look how many songs he did in this period. You've got Manny there from Lily. I mean, there's so many songs. We've got Lady Rodeline, Straight. Tim Roberts. I mean, it's just amazing the amount of stuff he cranked out, and not one of them is low quality. Like it's all,
No.
they're all just bangers because, as you said, his orchestral production is just nuts. And so if you do see this, Ingo, just remember we do miss you and appreciate you and love you so much. And if you come back, please come and say hello to us again. Because, but people can. This is the thing, you mentioned too. When somebody's like doing what he did, you mentioned how people kind of like, can you do this? Can you do this? Because you give people an inch sometimes, and they
Yeah.
like to take like 28 acres and just
Yeah.
can just do everything. So there's that too. You've got to be kind and take your foot off the gas and wait if he's going to do a song if he asks you.
Right.
Leenie, what
Well,
does no, you go finish what you were going to
yeah.
say.
Well, along the lines of what we were just saying, yesterday I reached out to Hugh for something and threw some ideas at him. And anybody I reach out to with an idea, I will say, remember, it's okay to say no without any explanation, because no by itself is a sentence. So I think that was also one of those things that, and I can't speak for Ingo, but when you're getting so many folks that love what you do and you want to do these things for them, I think he did have comfort with saying no. Otherwise, dude would probably still be, trying to juggle all this stuff. And I can't remember if we said it on here earlier or if that was behind or backstage, but if you need a break, take it. Those who love your channel will be here.
I'm listening, but
What I miss.
I know I'm terrible with that stuff. I'm terrible with saying no as well. My close friends, my little close knit friends know I'm terrible. I can't say no. Anyway, that's another story. We're not here for me today. Leenie, what does music mean to you?
Music is it's in my blood. It's in a lot of folks' blood. Um, it's a naturally occurring thing because I think a lot of folks can go out and hear music in the trees, whether it's the whistling or the rustling. Um, I grew up in a musical family. My mom was a pianist in the Philippines. My dad's a self taught guitarist. And so it was only natural to have so much music in the house, whether somebody was playing an instrument or my dad was singing, or just listening to the stereo. Um, I'm pretty sure that, growing up around music, so a second nature is what made it easy for me to make music part of my daily life. And when I was a senior in high school, I was supposed to graduate and go study music in college. This is a fun story. So anyway, I decided that it's like, I really don't want to go the music route because I had a scholarship, and they told me, it's like, well, you don't have to stay with the major. If you stay with it for 2 years, you can keep the scholarship, just, play in orchestra, sing in choir. And I was like, yeah, I don't even want to put that amount of my life into that when I know I don't want to do it. So I called and requested refund for the deposit because, here with college, you have to do all sorts of financial BS before you actually go. And so I said, I've decided not to enroll. So they sent back the deposit. My mom gets it. And she's like, Eileen, why are they sending our money back? And I'm like, should I not tell you? I'm not going. It's like, I'm just not going.
Yeah, they had that go down.
My mom and dad were just kind of mad at first because they were very much no, you need to graduate high school and go straight to college.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you don't. It's like, you think I do, but I don't. So I sat out a year before I actually went off to college, and I ended up majoring in English writing and using my degree for a long time. But I'm trying to remember where I was going with this story. I played in Well, as far as violin, like I said, that's what I grew up playing. I play that on my own and tinker around on other instruments. And in college, for fun, I was singing in the chamber singers, which was a small choral group. And that was how I kept on with music. And then after college and after getting married, it just stayed a hobby, whether it was trying to play my violin or sing in the shower, sing in the car, whatever. It's just been that thread. And so um just like a lot of other folks in 2020 are at home trying to stay entertained, I picked up my ukulele that I'd had sitting there for a couple of years and was like, well, let me start learning this. And I started recording for fun, and showing my Facebook friends, well, here's what I'm doing today. And they were, warmly received. And that was kind of how I got started with thinking, okay, well, let me just make some videos. And I started just sharing them with my friends on Facebook. But then I finally got the nerve to start a public channel on Instagram and TikTok. And it wasn't until middle of 2021 that I was comfortable with, okay, well, let me start building a YouTube channel.
It's funny how, well, it's not funny. A lot of people have come on because I started this channel in 2020. Before I do go on, thank you, Frank Terzo, for the 10 gifted memberships. 10 people now, Wart Warriors. And I think Leenie was one of them who got one. So you can throw your own emojis in the chat now. So
I know my last one expired, and I'm like, well, fuck. Now I gotta wait till somebody else,
that's the thing, is they're thrown around like candy these days, which is wonderful. It's such a great community we have across numerous channels. But it's interesting with the inconvenience and the thing in 2020, because so many people died and so many people went down some really dark places with like conspiracies and shit. And then there was like this community where people found the love that they had for music, and like the common thread of nearly everybody who has come on here is that they found that voice again to follow what they love. And for example, last night I got a message from a real life friend who I've known since I was a kid. During 2020, he went off the rails and was on Facebook like writing some really cockamamie shit, and meanwhile I was starting this, and he wrote me a message last night out of the blue saying, hey, I just want to touch base and say I'm really sorry for all the last 2 years of crazy shit I wrote and how I fell down a hole. And he goes, I just went back and looked at your channel and saw in 2020 you started something completely positive, where I went on a spiral of just demanding the world was a mess and all that, and just it's like, and I wrote back, dude, it's all right. Just try and focus on the best stuff. Like, we all know there's shit stuff that happens in this world. Like, we know. But if you do your best to focus on the good stuff.
Yeah. Well, for me, the gift of time that we were given to be at home, because most of us, would be away from home at jobs, working and not enjoying our homes, our families. So now we were forced to, spend time at home. And I loved it because, and I'm only half kidding, when I say that, it's like, yeah, I'm going to stay in today. It's a little too people-y out there right now. I mean, I really do mean it, because it's not that I'm necessarily a homebody. But when you go out and there's all these energies around you, and some people, it doesn't bother them, but I do get bothered because I can feel, somebody's chaos, and then it starts making me tense, and I don't like to be tense. So being at home in our own space and being able to hang out with my kids, and then also I think a lot of us have that, oh, well, I'd like to do this, but I don't have any time. Well, look, you got time. Now let's see what your next excuse is. And so I had no excuse for letting my ukulele be a little home to spiders and whatever else decided to, live in there. I vacuumed that thing out really good before I started playing it. So So I have another story. The other
Yes.
week, I had gone out with my dad to one of his appointments, and I know I've told this story to some other folks, but as I'm getting my dad ready, the doctor is like, "You've got something in your hair. It looks like spider web." Well, all I heard was spider, and I was like, "Okay, dude, you've got my consent. Get it out. You can touch me." And so, anyway, he's over here playing with my hair, getting, this out. Well, later that evening, I actually might have been watching your stream or somebody's. I know I was sitting at the table with my laptop watching somebody's stream, and I'm messing with my hair, and I feel something in it, like right here. So I start picking at my hair, and I couldn't get a grip, and so I had to go do something, and it's like, and I go looking for it again. Well, I grab it, and I try to put it on the table, and I'm like, okay, to me it fell off the table, but it might have hopped off the table. And I just lipped. I stayed calm. I didn't scream. I didn't freak out as much as you thought I would have. But then I sat there thinking, it's like, well, when you have a spider in the house, it's not arson if you're killing a spider. But if I ever, and I've told somebody this, if I ever set myself on fire, I am not protesting shit. I had a spider on me. So there.
Okay. so, folks, if you ever come across Leenie and she's on fire in the middle of the street, it's a spider.
That's right.
You
Look for the spider.
You wouldn't do well
I
here.
would die, and that spider would be walking on my ashes.
You wouldn't do well here. I woke up one morning here in Australia and was like, I don't know. And my partner was laying next to me and she said, Jade, don't move. I'm like, what do you mean? Still haven't opened my eyes. And she goes, don't even open your eyes. And I'm like, well, now I have to.
Where was it?
And I open my eyes and it's on my face, a huntsman about the size of my hand, just sitting on my face. And I'm like, is that a huntsman? She was like, yep. And I went, that's not fucking good, is it? So slowly got up, stood up, and it's still on my face. And just went, slowly brought my hand to it and got closer. And then it went, because they move really fast. And where did it go? Not like, didn't jump off me, went over my head and down into my shirt, and down the back. And I'm like, oh no. Now it's in my shirt. And my girlfriend
now what you gonna do?
And I go, what do we do? And she just starts hitting my back. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so did that make the spider get out, or did that
she got
just
it.
end up with spider guts?
I had
on you?
spider guts all over my back. So,
Yeah.
but she got it. So, look, the thing is, if they bite, you can't die from them. It's just a bite, like whatever. You get used to it. So it's just, this is the thing. It's all territorial. Like if you grow up around things, you're used to them. Like if you don't grow up
That's
around
true.
things. So it's apples and oranges. Let's play a song. We're going to play Be My Baby, speaking of the ukulele. And then we're going to come back and say hello to everybody. So this is from the lighter side with Leenie Presents, Be My Baby by the Ronettes. We'll be back in a minute, guys. You ready? These are all short that we're playing today.
There we go.
Let's, oh, yeah.
The night we met, I knew I needed you so. And if I had the chance, I'd never let you go. So won't you say you love me? I'll make you say
That was wonderful. Really wonderful. Now, there's not too many people I know who can get away with a wink.
Right.
Right? You know.
And I do it.
I know.
Well, I started that a long, long time ago. It was back in 2021 before I even started using YouTube.
Right.
And so I would record a song and I would wink to my guy so that he knew, that it's my little message to him.
Aww.
And now everybody notices the wink, so it's like, everybody that's a wink for you.
Yeah, hippie does. Right on, right on.
Yeah, hippie said, "Watch for the wink." And it's like in that one, it wasn't at the end; it was in the middle, because it was a part where it's like, "For every kiss you give me, I'll give you 3."
You got to forgive hippie. He's been up playing video games for 22 hours a day, so
and eating meat with his meat sauce.
he probably needs some rest. Let's say hello to everybody here, because we have a grand total right now of 52 people here.
Nice.
Damn, you're a popular lady. Which I
stay relatively quiet. This is probably the most anybody's heard me speak, besides my little ramblings before and after my videos.
I think we'll get into this. There's a definite reason why you are so popular. If guys in the chat, type something so I can find you, because there's so many of you, so I can just find you all. Sith is here. Hey Sith, what's going on? We got Tremor Bear. We got Leela. We got Hetriani. We got the Falcro. We got who else? Chad Freeman's in the house. We got Perpetual Pussy, who I call her now, Perpetual Pussy, not Platypussy. We've got Hugh Caldwell, covered by CQ. We've got Falcon Blueser. I'm not going to put the names up. You're all moving too fast. SM Borthwick, Doorways to Music. We've got Guzzo of Oz, Laurie's Mishmosh. Robbie Stengel is in the house with his beavers everywhere. Legs is here. Greg O'Sullivan, who I met yesterday for the first time. Kubrick Lover, Ed B. Metal, Marcus Canal, Roke Avocado, and Mateusz Prakowski. We've got Kirk Kasprick. Who else? Frank Terzo, Thomas Christ, William De Silva. Who else? Semtex Cow. Jenny Jolivet. Hello. Metalhead Hippie, of course. Boom, right on. Boom. Tremor Bear. I'm trying to get it.
Did you see Pookie?
Pookie. Of course, Pookie.
Yes.
Love you, Pookie. Got to give Pookie a mwah. Pookie gets a kiss. Glitter World is here as well. Who else do I have? Oh, we got Dave, Live to Fly channel. I saw Valerie Butt at the start of the show. If you're still here, Valerie, as well, love you. Michael Thompson. Damn, there's a lot of you. Hugh Caldwell, did I already? I'm starting to get into hippie territory. I'll start repeating people. Hugh, there's Hugh Caldwell.
Keep typing faster.
Yeah.
Post faster. Jade likes it fast. Go fast.
Have you been watching my videos on Pornhub? What's going on? Enough of that. I think I've got most people. If I've missed you, I'll try and double back and see if I did a good job, I think. I always miss someone
Great
in there. Kubrick Lover, go you. Russ 8889. Probably Brad's watching as well, being quiet. All right, cool. We got most people.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, all right. Now, is that the end of the show? Can I go home now? All right. All right.
You're still working, girl.
I'm still only on the second question. Leenie, do you remember the music that was played in your household as a kid by your folks, and who were some of those artists?
Lord, so my mom and dad are immigrants to the U.S. and our house, very eclectic. My mom and dad would play music from the Philippines. My mom would play a lot of classical, but then as far as American music, lots of old stuff. And we're not talking like 50s, 60s old at the time. We were talking about stuff from like the 40s and the 30s. So then you know, them having kids, as kids that would listen to the music that we wanted to, which various ages and stages that kind of dictated what we listened to. We were very much, my brothers and I would listen to Casey Kasem on Sundays on the way to church, and then, you know, it's like you got the countdown, and then you have to go into church, and then you come back out, and it's just like, okay, is it still on? Is it still on? You know, because you don't want to miss the number one
top
song.
40.
Yeah.
Was that what it was? Was it?
Yeah, that was it. And so anyway, just like a lot of folks in our community, a deep appreciation for the 80s and 70s, because that was stuff that was new when we were growing up. And then, you can remember the first time you heard it. You can remember taking the freaking dictation microphone, little tape recorder, and putting it up to the TV before
Yes.
you got, the built-in thing. I know everybody out there has done that.
Oh, we
And it's
all
like, I
have.
remember, when you did Grease 2, and that, I'm just over here like fangirling over Grease too, because it was just like, it's guilty pleasure. And I remember being in middle school and that shit was playing on HBO a gazillion times. And I had the tape recorder up to the TV speaker. And this was the TV that's that big wooden console that sits on your floor.
Yep.
And I have the tape recorder up there. And I remember recording, I think it was Girl for All Seasons, and my dad was in the kitchen and he hollers at me for something. I'm thinking, just messed up my recording. Now I gotta watch it again and try to record it again.
It was so good. Fine. It was almost like when I knew you were a Grease 2 fan. When I found out, I was like, oh my God, there's another one.
Right.
It's such
The
a
fact that you
it's such a
didn't have
lonely place to be.
you didn't have the copyright thing. It was like, yeah, because they want people to actually hear it. Nobody listening to it but Jade and Eileen. And I forget who else was in chat that day. And it was like, there was somebody else that was all over. And it was like, that's my people.
I want to do a full opening hour of all the songs from Charlotte's Web.
Oh.
I know, right?
That was one of those movies
so
that my
niche.
mom loved, Debbie Reynolds. And then, watching that every year, just like The Wizard of Oz and The
Yep.
Sound of Music. Those were the ones that TV Guide comes in the mail and flipping through. And my mom's like, oh, Wizard of Oz, it's coming on. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, we'll
Zuckerman's
watch it.
famous pig. Well, and the whole Templeton running through the picking up all the food at the carnival late at night, and there's too many of
A
those songs.
fair is a
Yeah,
veritable
exactly.
smorgasbord,
Oh,
after the lights have dimmed, or whatever it is.
So
Yeah.
I actually started removing all the vocals from the music. So who knows if it's going to happen, but maybe one day. All right, so
That'd be awesome.
do you remember the first album that you purchased and was
Yes.
given to you as a gift?
All right. So those are two different things, because I remember, and I forget who I was talking to about this not long ago, but the first album that I asked my mom to get for me, even though there was other records in the house, it was Blondie, Parallel Lines. And Debbie Harry, I'm a longtime fan of Blondie. And so she's one of my earliest influences, which I'm sure my parents are like, because they were kind of punk. I'm sure as I was running around the house singing songs from that album, my mom and dad are probably rethinking how much, music they bought for me. But I was like, you know what? This wasn't any kind of, parental advisory lyric shit at the time. It was pretty clean. I don't think they said anything. They might have said damn. There's no F bombs on there. But yeah, that one's I still have that vinyl. And I said, it's just like, that's my record. My kids are going to have to bury me with it. But my daughter appreciates vinyl. So it's like, okay, well, maybe she can have it. But the first 45 that I asked my mom to get me was Bruce Springsteen, Hungry Heart.
That's a good song.
And it is, because it's got that vibe, the old whatever period of rock and roll vibe. And
I'm a big
the
fan
flip
of Bruce
side-
Springsteen. I have everything he's ever done. He's an amazing
the
artist.
B side of that was a song called "Held Up Without a Gun."
Yeah.
I would listen to B sides, and I remember thinking, "Oh, this is cool." He says "damn" in that. And it's like, maybe we can blame Bruce Springsteen for my foul mouth.
That's it. I'm writing him an email right now. Dear Bruce.
Right. Yeah, so yeah, and once upon a time, when everybody's gone through all the formats of music. I even had 8-tracks. I had a 8-track player in the car that I drove. It was my dad's first car, a 1967 Chevelle. the Malibu. And the original stereo got stolen, and my dad replaced it with one that had an 8-track player. So I actually have Heart on 8-track, John Lennon on 8-track, and then all my parents' old 8-tracks that even those I appreciated. And then moving from 8-tracks to cassettes and CDs and streaming. And I'm trying to remember where I was going with telling you. Oh, so anyway, my vinyl. I've always loved my vinyl. And when it was like uncool because it's like you just need to get that on CD, I'm like, no, I love my vinyl. It's got the pops and the hissing, and skips from when you accidentally bumped your turntable and wrecked the record.
Oh, that kind
Or
of
the
vinyl. All right.
yeah, yeah. We'll talk about that later.
All right. Me, you, and Laurie.
There you go. Friday night.
Boom. So the funny thing about the formats of music, I think, throughout the ages is no matter how, there's only one real piece of technology that you could listen to things on that you couldn't actually pirate stuff with, and that was vinyl. Right? Everything else, cassettes, you could tape over cassettes and record by popping the little tab in the tape. CDs, you could get writable CDs and do all that. Now, digital audio, God, the sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want with that. But vinyl, you couldn't just head out and go and press vinyl. It was the one medium that was like really special, I think. And it still is. I think that's why it's making a comeback more over cassettes, because it takes a lot to press a piece of vinyl. There's a whole magic to it. Do you still collect vinyl now?
Not so much recently, but when used bookstores started, having their vinyl collections, I would go in there looking for, different albums that I didn't get as a kid. And, now that I'm on the spot, I can't name any of those ones, but I love records, and there's a bunch that my mom left behind. So I have to sort through those and see which ones I want to keep, and then which ones that have either no sentimental value or just, what the hell is mom listening to this for? Yeah, that's where I am with vinyl records.
Yeah, I hate the word vinyl. There's a lot of people now that, and I follow some channels on YouTube, and they call themselves the vinyl community, and I'm just like, why can't you just call it the record community? Like, it's a record.
Right. It was a record store.
Yeah. You don't go into the vinyl store. That's a completely different store.
Yeah, the other vinyl store.
The other vinyl store. You go in there and there's some dude who's like, hi, do you like vinyl? It's like, I like it, but I don't like it as much as you, mate. Fucking. Of course, Laurie has to write pleather in the chat.
There we go, pleather.
We all love pleather, or the Acrylosaurus, the distant cousin of pleather. Now, I want to talk about instruments, and so you mentioned violin, and you're probably going to, I don't know if you take this, hopefully as a compliment. When I think of artists in this community who are multi-instrumentalists, I always think of you, like you are very much under the radar in this community because you play a lot of stuff, and you're an amazing vocalist as well. Like that's beyond, take it from someone who used to teach singing. You're an amazing vocalist. And you tend to, as I said, go under the radar when so many people struggle to be able to try and play multiple instruments, and you just seem to be able to pick them up very easily and play them, in my opinion. So how did it start picking up instruments? You said the violin earlier. Tell us that journey.
Yeah. So my mom was a piano teacher and an accompanist, and she felt strongly that piano was a good way for us to get started with our musical journeys. And then since I was a bad student who didn't want to listen to her mother, they got me violin lessons. And I mean, it's the same as anything. If you have an intro to one thing, it helps you get started with others. So I like dabbling, and my dad used to hate that because he's like, jack of all trades, master of none. And I'm thinking, I'm not trying to master anything. I like being able to dabble and do just enough because I told you it's like I'm not really focused on the musical aspect. Music is just a platform for me to get out there and do something positive and have fun, be funny, let folks into my world and see me over here whether I'm goofing and laughing at my mistakes or struggling and saying fuck, it's I can't take anything too serious. Somebody had given me a mug in high school. This is how far back this goes. In high school, I was already cutting up and everything, and somebody gave me a mug that was an Oscar Wilde quote. Life is too important to be taken seriously. And I
Yep.
was thinking, yeah, that really is there's so much to life that if you take it too seriously, you're going to get too tightly wound. You're not going to enjoy the ride. And then there's also a mindfulness aspect of being able to be in the present moment, right here, right now, where we are, and nothing else matters. So I know, and I can be 100% sure of this moment that I'm sitting in my house, Jade is sitting in her house, and we are having a conversation with each other. And there's folks out there who hopefully are benefiting from this conversation. And whether or not you agree with any of it, if it triggers you, then go further with that and see what it is. See why it's hit a spot with you. And I'm not saying it's a sore spot. I'm just saying it's a spot. What is it that Jade or I are saying that just, gives you a little nudge? Because that's just maybe something you need to look at and explore. And back to what you were saying about me playing other instruments, I will dabble, I will learn how to do just enough really for my enjoyment. And then if it's not, like I said this past week, if it's not craptastic, I will put it out there for folks. Because I've heard folks say that what they like about my channel is that I'm having fun, and that you and I agree, make mistakes.
Yeah.
Because when you make mistakes, that means you tried. You've gone however many steps further than the person who sits on the sideline and doesn't even try. And there's instruments out there that it's like I would love to learn to play, but I can't really throw whatever it costs to buy an accordion. Which colorful energy, I love you for playing accordion. I want one. But
Look, we share very similar philosophies. I mean, I don't know what your background is with spirituality and stuff like that, but I've been involved in lots of pagan. I've dabbled in everything. Like these things come my way. Like I'm a believer of try everything that comes your way at least 3 times, because the first time you may do it with the wrong bunch of people. The second time you're probably just doing it wrong. But by the third time, you're going to have an idea if it fits with you or not. So if somebody says, let's jump out of a plane, yes, I'm going and go jump out of a plane. Somebody says, check this out, just go and do it. And because it's better to have an understanding of it than to sit there and have an opinion of it without actually investigating it. Yeah. And so with around like, what you're saying there, this channel here has never been about me. It's because I've had my time in the sun and been a musician and toured and done all this dumb shit, This is about people now stepping outside of their shell and trying to help people have tools to just go for it. And the whole idea between the wart, there's 2 meanings, warts and all. That's it. You throw it all out there and see what shit sticks to the wall. And wart is we all rise together. So it all kind of works out. So you're very much a musical therapist to me.
Sorts.
Of sorts.
Well, and that was it, seeing what sticks. So if I thought too much about it, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. What I did was I started sharing with my friends and let that lead me. And so, I don't know, call it serendipity, but I just fell into making ukulele videos. And for a short time, I mentioned this the other night, for a short time, I thought, oh, okay, well, let me, be a little more serious about how I build my videos and record them. And then what was missing was the part where I was just being me and, sitting and playing and making my mistakes and laughing and, just having a good time. And so I've, found my way back to that by making it a Freestyle Friday, so that, I have the goal of doing one video a week, which is a Freestyle Friday. And for the most part, I try to build those either from, um, me doing my progress checks, which is why there's a lot of swearing. I sit here and if I mess up, I will swear and I will laugh and, whatever else. I never get mad enough to throw anything. So that's kind of good. But the, yeah.
and not expensive as well too. So.
Exactly. Yeah. See, and that's why ukulele is great, because my first one was only $30. So, if I trash that one, right, it was a $30 spider hotel for a little while. So
right.
But
I don't think I've ever had spiders in a guitar.
Let it flow. Well, I felt bad for that little ukulele just sitting there so loyal in the corner, like, come and play. And I'm just like, yeah, you're there. I'll come back to you.
So
well, so I want to get back to what you were saying earlier about, the spiritual side of things.
Yes.
Because, I grew up in a Catholic household because my mom and dad were Catholic. And when I got to that point where it didn't suit me anymore, and I, just stopped going to church, and my mom's like, well, but you've got to do this. And I'm like, well, no, I don't. She's like, but you were born Catholic. I was, no, technically I was born atheist. You're the one who was Catholic that made me,
right,
follow all these things. And so I've had my spiritual journey of, what fits. And I don't know, I'm kind of more universal. I think I'm respectful of everybody receives the world in the way that flows with their heart and mind, that combination of heart and mind. So, I started off in the Catholic household, which, by the way, my oldest brother is a Catholic priest. So it's kind of like, I feel like I am the dirty little secret of, Father Perez, because he's got this heathen little sister who's got a foul mouth and gets on, right? And so, I'll meet, the church people and stuff, and I'm just like, hi, nice to meet you, ma'am. Don't look for me on YouTube.
It's good being the black sheep. I love being the black sheep.
So I have a middle brother.
All right.
And I call him my Jan Brady brother, because he's the middle child. And after our brother became a priest, it's like, okay, well, now we shall vie for who is black sheep. And I mean, we're, half kidding about it, because, priest brother's the fucking golden child. You can't beat that. When my mom died, there were the diocese, had all these priests attend her funeral. It's fucking huge. And I'm like, I'm gonna die, and it's like, be lucky if I have a shoebox that you guys cram me into. But
depends what kind of shoebox it is. If it's an expensive pair of shoes.
And then, so death is another thing. I don't have a problem talking about death. I don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
When my mom died, and it was no hard feelings. I can't be flowery with, like, she passed away. And I think from watching Grey's Anatomy, they had told them, you have to say the patient died. You can't, use these words. You have to, it's a clinical thing. And so when they were going through and they're trying to, talk to families to tell them, anyway, so I don't have a problem saying that somebody died, and people feel like that's so harsh. And it's like, but it is a death. They died.
Yeah.
And so, I forget where I was going with that part of it.
Passed over and all this kind of shit. When I went through all my health stuff and my immune system shut down. I went and saw my doctor, and he fully sat down and gave me the news. It was like, instead of telling me, I think, you're in dire straits, his words were, Jade, I think you need to put your will in order. And I was like, what? Are you telling me I'm going to be dead? And he's like, well, I didn't want, and I'm like, so I'm going to die. Oh, I'm going to die. And I just kept saying it. And you can see he's like thinking, and it's like, no, dude, your bedside manner is shit. Like,
Right.
just lay it down, man. Like, you can't sugarcoat this shit. It's just death. I'm like,
We're all gonna die.
Couldn't he read the room?
Nobody's gonna get out of it live, you know?
I'm thinking, can't you read the room, buddy? I'm wearing a t-shirt that's death metal. You idiot.
Read the room.
What's going on? Speaking of, you mentioned your mum. We're going to play a song, and you sent me this
right.
last minute. Do you want to tell
right.
us briefly what this is before I play it?
I don't remember what it was.
It's the one you said.
Was I playing piano?
No, this is the one you said. The email says as follows. I went hunting for this morning. I had 333 views.
Oh.
My mum's angel number.
Yeah. So, yeah, you played that one. That was the wasn't it?
No, I haven't played that yet. Or did I? No, this is the New Year's update.
Oh. I can't remember my own fucking videos, Jade.
I'll just play it. Folks,
there we go. Can we talk about it after?
All right. I got to jog your memory. We'll be right back. Let's play it. Let's go. All right, let's go.
It's just like heaven, being here with you. You're like an angel, too good to be true. But after all, I love you, I do. Angel baby, my angel baby. Happy New Year! Yes, I know it's the 11th January, and I haven't posted since like New Year's Eve or somewhere thereabouts, but I've been busy. I've been very fortunate to have to catch up on replies and visiting channels because of all the kindness I received from my 12 days of Ukumas and the last 2 collaborations that I did. I'm slightly overwhelmed, and I know there's a lot of folks out there experiencing the same, but I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your kindness, and I look forward to bringing you new content in 2022. Already working on 6 more collaborations, which are a lot of fun. I've said it before, we shine brighter together. Oh, happy Tacos and Tiaras Tuesday. That's why I got the stinking tiara on. And I was recording earlier, which is why there's all the crap on my face again. Because the lights, they pale you out. And the lashes, I'm not a fan, but I'll wear them so that my eyes don't get lost. But these are like freaking caterpillars stuck to your eyelids, and I could do without them, but what else? So anyway, I hope everybody had really nice holidays. I got to see family, and look here. This is one of the reasons why I'm sad that I haven't had time to play, because Dr. Pepper got me 3 new ukuleles for Christmas. Check it. Look at that. Ooh. Pretty. But yeah, so I've been rambling for more than 2 minutes. I'm gonna shut up now, and I just want to say thank you if you're already subscribed. If you're not, and I haven't scared you off, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you want to. That way you can see when I've got new posts. I just said that I've got those collaborations coming, so I hope you'll be here for those. Thank you.
This stinking tiara.
That's right, my stinking tiara is on.
Does it smell bad?
Yeah, so that was That was one of the things that I used to do. I would post a special video on Tuesdays, which is Tacos and Tiaras Tuesday, which is, the thing that kind of got going. My website's Tacos and Tiaras because those are two things that I love in the world. And I can't wear my stinking tiara with my fucking headphones so that, your sound quality is up to par.
All right, so we're going to talk about tacos and tiaras in just a moment. So let's bring it back.
All right.
Just a second, because we've got to come back here because I've got to run the ad. I run the ad at halfway point of every show. If you want to avoid the ad, folks, you can become a premium subscriber or just wait and we'll run the ad now. It gets run. It's been run. You may or may not get an ad and we'll just wait and chill out. And I don't know, you want to whistle a tune while we're waiting for people to get back who got an ad?
Whistle a tune.
Do you like people who whistle? You know when you walk down the street and there's just some old guy who walks past you whistling? Is it just me? I just want to punch them.
Well, my dad was a whistler, so I was just like,
I would never do it, but in my head,
well,
I go.
That is like, when you see somebody, that whole thing is like, do you ever see somebody they just look like they need to be punched?
All the time. Every day when I leave the house, it's the first thing I just want to punch everybody. So it's just me. Chris Lane Sr. says, welcome to people I've missed in the chat too. Chris Lane Sr. saw Mr. Smith. I saw Independent Men United. Gary Hubbs joined us late. Rhodey's Jam Cave. There was a few more. I saw Justine Kasperick. Hello. I think I can't remember. I did see more, but and thank you, Hugh Caldwell, for the super chat that I missed yelling out earlier as well. So tell us, you have a website here. It is Tacos and Tiaras.
Yeah.
What? Why?
So that was what started off my whole thing before I was even posting videos. I started off, trying to build a blog, and the whole point was I wanted to create a space where I could write about the things that help people to have less anxiety and stress in their lives. By that point, I'd started understanding mindfulness. I said it earlier about being fully in the present, and some of the other part of it is gratitude. I know that's not anything new. I'm not saying anything new with gratitude. Yeah, see, who can sit with fucking camo pants, a plaid shirt, and a tiara? I can. Because it's like, I don't fucking care. It's like, am I comfortable? Yes. Am I happy? Yes. That's what matters. So, but anyway, so I was blogging about those different things that can contribute to improving your life, because all of us, for whatever reasons, we have anxiety and stress, and the realization that sometimes we just create that for ourselves by getting too far ahead of ourselves, by worrying about a future that has yet to arrive. And when you look too far ahead and you're worrying, you're missing like this actual moment right now. Because right now I'm enjoying the company of Jade and the chat, and just having a wonderful afternoon. I know that when this ends, whatever is going on in my life is going to be there, and I will tackle it then. So just being able to enjoy the good energy of everybody that's here, which I am grateful that you guys came to see what happens with me and Jade and what kind of shit that we talk about, because hopefully there's something that you've heard that is of interest to you, and you feel supported in whatever you've been thinking about. Or if you disagree, hopefully it's like you can just disagree and still see me and Jade as the same people we were before that popped up. Everybody's different.
I just want to go back to talking about wearing camo pants and a tiara. This is not everyone's going to understand this, but the women will understand this. For somebody being trans, right? It's been a long time I've been out and all that stuff, right? So it's over 20 years, and I see young trans people now, and they're like, they overdo everything, because when you come out, right, it's like you're a young girl. You overdo all the makeup, you overdo all the clothes, and you look ridiculous because you just overdo it. And I often say to young trans women, trust me, you'll know when you found your place when you're able to sit around on a couch in a pair of tracksuit pants and not feel like you need to impress the world as a woman,
Right.
right? Because the being a woman, especially in entertainment and on YouTube or wherever, there's an expectation of being beautiful all the time and constantly being on or because of judgment. It's a thing. We all know it exists. But there's nothing like ripping all those fake eyelashes off and putting on those tracky pants and sitting there and stuffing your
Right.
face where you watch absolute garbage on TV. And it just is what it is. So I'm going to start throwing a tiara on as well in my
Absolutely.
tracky pants.
Everybody, seriously, it's just like I can't remember when it was, but I did a video. It was a short. I think it was on TikTok, and I had this revelation one morning, and I sat out with my tiara on the patio, and was just like, what happened to the days when we were, 5, 6, 7 years old, and we didn't care what we had on or if it matched. We would put on whatever top, pants, skirts, shoes, whatever, because they made us happy to wear those. And I remember a few times where my mom's like, that doesn't go together. I'm like, but I feel good, you know?
Exactly.
And it's like, so I would love for everybody to find that place in their adulthood where you just don't give a fuck what other people think.
Yeah,
If you're happy, if you're comfortable, if it's not hurting you, if it's not hurting somebody else, then what's wrong with it? So wear the tiara, eat the nutritionists be like, don't tell them to eat that shit, but eat the thing in moderation.
everything
Be
in
hippie and
moderation.
eat all the meat that you need to
Yeah,
eat until you go into, hibernation and fasting for a few days. But, again, we went there the other day where it was like everybody is different. So a lot of folks have both health and weight concerns, but not every diet is meant for every body. And I mean body,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because everybody has a different kind of makeup of chemistries, of, um, health challenges. So not
Yes,
everything's going to work for everyone. You just have
absolutely.
to find what works for you. And hopefully, under the supervision of, a medical professional to make sure that you're not going out of whack with certain chemistries and levels of whatever, because there are some things where you can do damage to your body while you're losing that weight, which when you lose weight your heart thanks you for it, right? But yeah, just we got to take care of ourselves and each other.
Absolutely. It's very important. Many people know I've made changes lately in doing Walk With Me, and we've all followed Hippie's meat journey. These Not every journey is exactly the same. You're absolutely right, and what I do isn't going to work for everybody. But I think thinking about your health and these kind of things and your mental health. I've tried to always cover mental health on this program, on this channel, not only just music, because it is important. Because we all deal with imposter syndrome, no matter how long we've been making music, playing music. We all deal with the shit that's on the outside world and the constant bombardment of media and all this shit that is thrown at us each day. So it is important to say, and I know this is kind of something that sounds a bit Bible-y, but make sure your own house is in check and clean, and always
Yeah.
tidy up your mind and your health, because it doesn't matter what some dumb fuck says about you on the street or thinks about you. It's what you think about yourself that's important. It's the most important thing. You said
Well,
about,
you have to take care of yourself so that you are there to take care of others. I know a lot
yes,
of folks that uh, try to be there for everybody else and then neglect themselves, whether it's their health or their time. Time is a commodity, and there's a few folks, that I'll remind them, honor your time. if you honor your time, others will follow suit. That goes back to that need for taking breaks or, whatever else it is. I think everybody wants to be there for each other and doesn't want to let somebody down. But the folks who get you and care and are truly aligned and truly appreciate you will understand when you can't be there, that it's not personal.
Yep.
It's that I can't be there for you right now, but I am still, your friend. I'm still here, but I've got to take care of these things first. Like the other night, Hippie had to postpone his show. And that's Hippie's business as far as why he couldn't do a show then. But, it's like I'm pretty sure everybody understood without explanation. Hippie has life away from YouTube. All of us have lives away from YouTube. That comes
Really?
first. Yeah, right? Maybe not Jade, but
What is this world we speak of? Oh, I know. When I'm asleep.
there you go.
I jest. It's not that bad. I've made a pact. I've found lately I've been falling into the mental rut of sitting here going, oh, I've got to get up and do YouTube. Oh, I've got to do this. And I wasn't like that. And I think, and yesterday I had a revelation about this, and that I have to get back to. Oh, tomorrow I'm doing YouTube. Oh, I've got to get up for YouTube. I don't know how I got lost, but it does happen. And I think sometimes it's good to have a good. What do you think? Do you have a network of people that you're able to talk to and say things to that you may not say out to everybody else, that inside mind that I have a group like that where I can just log off YouTube and go, you fucking go. I have that, and it really helps. It really does help.
Yeah, I have this core group of friends that I've had since childhood. And when I say childhood, I do mean high school for some of them, because once you get to be a certain age, anything younger than 20 is being a child. And we have a group chat. So whether we talk every day or, there's a lull, nobody has hard feelings if, everybody pops back in and starts saying hi again. But those are the folks that I know that without question, I could go to and tell them something. And we've been friends so long that if I say, here's this thing, it doesn't need an explanation as to why I'm telling them.
Yeah.
Which means they don't need to have me explain why this bothers me or why this is good or this is bad or whatever. I could just pop on and say blah, blah, blah. And they're like, they'll react accordingly. But yeah, if I have to vent about something, the real world, real life things, the harder things about life, I can go to them. And I also know that I can ask them for help. That it's like, if I can't tackle something alone, and a few weeks ago I was stressing about a change in when my dad was having an appointment, and I was worried about things like, he's a diabetic, so he's insulin dependent, has been for decades, and he has to take that on time. And I was worried about him getting home and getting his insulin and getting fed. And so when I was stressing out over that, I knew I could reach out to them, and I was like, y'all, talk me down, because I need help with what I normally remind other people of, with, how to just ground myself in the present and know everything's okay, everything will be okay. And then, we haven't talked about this before, but being able to look into the future and start holding gratitude now for what I hope the universe will deliver to me. Where it is, when I travel, I will not say I don't want to get in an accident, because if you put accident out there, evidently the universe hears accident,
sure
and it's
does.
like, oh shit, let me do accident for you.
Yeah.
And that's not fun. But I will drive, and I will say, I feel grateful for safely arriving where I'm heading. And whether or not that's just a whole bunch of BS, and by chance I happen to safely arrive where I was going, who cares? I got there safely. But if to keep me, feeling like I've got any control over what happens. Let me try to invite something positive, like being grateful for safely arriving, or being grateful that everything worked out, you know.
Yeah, I agree with
Try to
that. I
focus
love
on
that.
those positive words and try to focus on what I want, which is a safe arrival, as opposed to what I don't want, which was an accident.
Right now, I want to play a song. And we're going to play a collaboration
All
you
right.
did with Empirism, Gregory O'Sullivan, and Walton Kinder, as some people say. Ice Flowers.
Weltenkinder.
Kinder. I don't want to do that, did it?
Gotta say it like you're German.
Kinder.
There you go.
All right, this is Ice Flowers. We'll play this and we'll be back here shortly. You ready, guys? Let's
Here we go.
The day flies hasty from the sky. I watch the people walking by. The loneliness grows a moment. I wonder what you're hiding from. The evening's changing color now. Like a chameleon knows how. Another shape as if to tell us that we can't feel they feel. We know that in his time when the moon appears all covered by the clouds, we are like ice flowers. We blossom in the night. We are like ice flowers. Beauty fade out in the light. We are like ice flowers. Darkness is on our side. Ice flowers blossom in the night. The day comes back, we say goodbye. The hard light singing in my eyes. It's gray and cold and the silence gone. I know we have to carry on. I'm longing for the light's disguise. It comes to take away our lives. Another shape as if to tell us that we can't feel they feel. We know that in his time when the moon appears uncovered by the clouds, we are like ice flowers. We blossom in the night. We are like ice flowers. Beauty fade out in the light. We are like ice flowers. Darkness is on our side. Ice flowers blossom in the night. We are like ice flowers. We blossom in the night. We are like ice flowers. Beauty fade out in the light. We are like ice flowers. Darkness is on our side. Ice flowers blossom in the night. We are like ice flowers. We blossom in the night. We are
improves them at the end. That makeup.
That was so much fun.
You should have just been the whole spotlight of that whole video. That makeup job was incredible.
Thank you.
Incredible.
That's one of those things that Lori and I will be talking about Instagram and different things that come through our feeds. So I'll see all these makeup tutorials, and there's a bunch of stuff that women do with their faces with contouring and highlighting. And I love seeing like the transformation where you use your face as a canvas to turn into a celebrity.
Yeah.
Those that's actually more art than it is, I'm going to leave my house trying to go look like Jennifer Aniston. I'm not going to do that. But the stuff that women do with their makeup in order to enhance their appearance, Lori and I are like, okay, I'm going to go contour my nose and I'm going to look like I don't know how to wash my fucking face. I've got dirt all over it,
It's an art form, I remember when I first come out, and because when you're young as a woman, you just go over, you look like a clown. Everyone does. Trans people, when we come out too, you look like clowns. And I remember for me to learn makeup skills, which people don't get to see anymore because I don't do it every day because it's a lot of work every day before the show. But when I do, I know what I'm doing. But I went to Mac and I don't know if they still do it. You used to be able to go there and pay like $100 and they'd sit you down at Mac and they do you up. And then at the end of it, you get to take home $100 worth of product and walk out with an amazing face, and you're learning at the same time. And I would recommend it to so many people and go, trust me, you will learn so much. But now we have YouTube. So, but me and contouring as well, I look at it and just go, oh, but how? How do they do it? Well,
and there's all these products that they try to sell you.
Yeah.
So you will see like all these different brands of, this is the thing that you need because it comes with these 3 sticks, and then you just swipe, and what's it, stipling, dab it out, whatever.
Yep.
And it's just like when you blend it out, and it's like I would either probably blend it off so there's no product now, just wasted $50 on a stick of whatever, and it's no longer on my face. It's all in the little, dabber. But yeah, so what you just said, as far as like, I think that's also why I like doing Freestyle Friday, because I can roll out of bed and not have a stitch of makeup on, and not have to dress up. Lori and I enjoy the collabs that we do because that is a time to play dress up, get in a character, have fun. But it is work because, you have to set up a green screen and get your equipment right. And then, for, like I had said in that video, the lights will pale you out. So, like I said in that, it's like you put on lashes so your eyes don't disappear. And off camera, I swear, when I said they're like having fucking caterpillars on your eyelids, they're not all that long, but it feels like, your lashes are like gonna reach out and, here, Jade, I'm gonna, it's.
I don't know how so many modern young women can cope with wearing fake eyelashes every day. I see it so much. Like, when I would do a performance, a gig, and put them on, for special things. And I do have a whole fucking bathroom full of fake eyelashes, and the magnetic ones too. I have those as well.
Yeah. So this came in the mail today. Instagram finally wore me down on this thing. I know. Well, I'm serious. It's like you see this fucking ad a million times a day, and then I'll tell Lori when I order something, it's like it wore me down. I broke. And so anyway, this I don't know if anybody has seen this stuff. These are these lashes that it has a top and a bottom to it, and this little thingy. And I'm not going to try to show you how it works because I haven't done it yet. And if I do it, this is going to be that interview where Jade made Eileen go blind on camera.
I killed her on stream.
But so anyway, this is supposed to be the next best thing as far as magnetic lashes, where you don't have adhesive or
Yeah.
eyeliner to put these caterpillars on.
Magnetic ones are fun. Yeah, I don't mind them. Like they don't feel as intrusive as well. But yeah, I would do shows.
But
And
if they don't adhere properly, and
yeah,
it's like, and one of them is like, wonky, and the other one,
I love
my
that.
eyes
Like
are.
in WWE, a lot of women wrestlers, well, nearly all of them wear fake eyelashes, and you think, oh my God, you're out there fake punching each other. And then I love it when someone gets actually connected in the face and one of the eyelashes comes off, and then for the rest of the match, they're missing an eyelash. It just looks so fucking, I love it. I'm like, yeah, look at that. And I'm always looking on the ring to wonder where the eyelash went. Where is it? And I forget about the match because I'm looking for the eyelash. Now, you have on your channel here, like, what are we? You're up to 339 videos. How do you choose the tracks? Like Joey, Don't Worry, Baby. What's the process you go through to choose a track to play on Freestyle Friday or whatever that you're going to do?
Very much wherever I am in my space as far as what I've been working on. And, I'll work on several songs at a time. Like right now, I've been working on a set to perform where at the facility where my dad stays. One of the directors there has been, asking me, to set a date to come in and play. And I'm like, okay. So I think that's also another thing that, growing up with the music that I grew up with, that was, around the house when my parents were playing. And then, my parents didn't play a lot of Beatles, but I found them. And I think that was mostly because of one of my friend's parents, my friend's dad. He was a big Beatles fan. And, I don't think I've done any Beatles covers, but whatever I happen to be playing, that week, and I find a progress check that went okay. Or if I want to do the one take where I sit there and I'm like, all right, this is one take, let's see what happens.
They're
Anything
the best.
goes.
They're the best. I love that stuff because mistakes, like when you're touring, the big bands that people go and see, they make a fucking shit ton of mistakes live all the time. Like,
Well,
and
when I see a band, I don't want them to play the album version.
absolutely.
I want them to do something different. If I wanted to listen to the album, I would have stayed the fuck home and not paid to come to their concert, in which, it's a lot of money these days for some.
Tell me about it.
bands.
Yeah. And
But
what's
yeah.
interesting with bands too, like anybody who's played in a band and written a song and been in a band and you start playing it, over time, the way you play it changes naturally anyway. Because when you record it, you're in a studio and everyone's either playing separately from each other, and it's a process. But then once you start playing it together and you're grueling and you're playing it every week, the same song, you fall into these new ways of playing it that are slightly different anyway. So people who come away and go, no, it didn't sound like it's like, no shit. Like that's what happens just from constantly playing a song over and over. So
Well, and sometimes those mistakes, a mistake from how it was written, it's actually not a mistake. It works out very well.
Yes.
Just embrace it, because, if the audience didn't know you weren't supposed to play it that way, but they loved how it sounded, then that's a win. Just let it be, let it happen.
I'm going to play another little track here because this one's a short one. Now, most people don't know. I ask artists to send me what they would want me to play, because if I go ahead and choose stuff, you might go.
Jade, what the fuck were you thinking picking that shit?
I've actually got one that I would have chosen in the list here that you didn't send me. But let's play this short one. This is Unchained Melody, Almost a Piano. I love it. Almost
Classic
a piano.
Leenie.
Yeah, let's do it now. Boom.
Happy Freestyle Friday! I already know that I'm not going to play this whole song because my attention span cannot handle it. So, here we go.
ears can't handle the freaking notes either. All right, that's it. It's not even about the music anymore, is it? If I can make you laugh or smile, that's why you come here. And that's why I'm happy to do this for you. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I will see you next week with whatever it is I do. Thank you.
So there'd be certain people out there who'd probably see that, because there are weirdos out there on the internet. Surprise, surprise. Who would go, well, doesn't even, it's not very. There are layers to that video that are very important. And I understand why you sent the selections that you sent, because again, this is the message that you've been driving through. I could see your fingers shaking while you were playing that, right? And that's very real and very visceral. And as somebody who, as I said, you're a multi-instrumentalist, somebody who takes risks, and it's what's missing with music, I find these days. People who take chances and risk the negative stuff that could come, but and focusing on that, but the positive stuff that people can take away from that kind of video is very important. So thank you for stuff like that, because it's I think it encourages me and many others to push forward and get better. Hopefully, I mean your peers are here in the chat. So it obviously with there were 50 people here. Obviously, it's working what you're doing.
Oh, that's good to hear. Thank you, Jade. Because I mean, like you said, we all rise together, and to me, it is very important to encourage others. Because first of all, kindness breeds kindness, and you don't know what's going on with somebody else, so just be kind. And you don't know what kind of support system somebody needs, so go and encourage folks and build them up and help them out. And there is a time and a space to be critical and critique. And for the most part, that's especially if the person asks what they can do better, or, it's like, I will first be encouraging. But if somebody wants to know what can be improved, or my true feelings on how's it sound, I'm going to tell you. And it's like it's how I receive what you've put, which is just me and how I've received it, because there's somebody else out there that probably receives it differently, just like nutrition, and we're all different. Everybody's ears are different. So I've heard people complain about genres that don't do it for them, and they'll just hate on them, and it's just like, it's not your cup of whatever, so just fucking walk away and go listen to the shit that you listen to, and you don't need to put down something just because you don't like it. You just don't.
I don't get it. It's such a weird behavior. Like, if that's why I don't post a lot on Facebook anymore. I used to write something like, "Oh, Apple's just released the new update for the iPhone," and then instantly there'd be some dumb cunt who'd write, "I hate Apple, Android's better." And I think, who gives
nobody asked you?
Fucking why are you here on my page and not enjoying your fucking Android then? Like,
right, exactly.
Am I allowed to enjoy something, or does that get in the way of your? Really, imagine being that person going, "Oh, you like that? Well, I can't go on with my life because I'm so upset." Like, fuck off, honestly.
Well, I tell you, one of the most, all I can say is liberating. One of the most liberating things for me was to realize and understand I can put my ego on the shelf because it's not all about me.
Yes.
And when I am interacting with somebody, especially if you're telling me something and I'm listening and I'm putting myself to the side because I want to hear what you're saying. And I'm also understanding that there is a reason why you're telling me, and there's some level of importance to you. And it's about you in that moment. And that's how it is with music. It's about what our peers have created and what comes from them. And, seriously, I say that I haven't created my own music yet because I'm too chicken shit to do it. There is something, I told Lori this the other day. There is something about putting music out there that is so personal that if somebody weren't to like it, um, you do first take it personally because that's your baby.
Yeah.
You made this and you do this partly for you, but also because it's for others. You want it to touch people and for it to do something for them, which my thing in creating is to create something that lifts others and inspires and helps them make a better day. And I told Lori that, I've had two children and I've had medical people come in and check to see how dilated I was. And I was fine with that, but to put a song out there feels worse to me than strangers going under the drape and seeing, who we crowning yet.
So I'm not going to put out music, but everyone else, come along.
Right, exactly. That to me was
You're
just
welcome.
that was that natural process. That is just like, that's just what it was. But
Yeah.
I didn't mind, because I knew it's like they got to come in and check and make sure, that, we're moving along with delivering a baby. But to put a song out there, it's just like, can I just stick my hoo-ha out there and, call that a song? Some people actually do that, but
I'm going to be thinking about that all day now. All right.
Jade's going to run with it.
we got 13 minutes left, and I do have to wrap this up today
Right.
because I've got to jump over to Pete. So what we're going to do is I want to ask you this question. How is being a part of this music community, this broad community of many channels that all come together, how has this affected you and how has this changed you and why?
I think what I've gotten most out of it is seeing, well, I like to see the positive first, where there's people who are all over the planet, aren't anywhere near each other, but we're able to connect, whether it's creating music together or going to the different streams where music is shared or going to individual channels and enjoying what other folks are doing. And for the most part, people are supportive. You've got the rules of YouTube, right? Where it's like you go by and you do the like, the share, the commenting, all this stuff, give appropriate watch time. Those are all the things that matter. But when you get beyond the platform and really get into the humanness of it and people who otherwise would not have met because, you're not anywhere near each other, but also that connection, the universal language of music. You run into each other, and it's possibly divinely inspired as far as the universe conspired to make sure that I met certain people, and the music making, like I said, it takes balls to create something, and especially to put it out in a public setting, because I started off in the safety of my Facebook family and friends, and then stepping outside of that and having strangers checking out my music, which my stupidest least effort video is actually a short. And I had just gotten, maybe not just gotten, but I had my U bass to learn to play it. And I was a little impatient with, playing it, holding it correctly. So I made a little short about it. It's like, I can't really, play it that well. But if I hold it, like an upright bass, I can, with my strings background. And that thing has stupid number of views. It's up there, and
Always
it's still
the
the
way.
most viewed thing, right? Least effort, but there's these folks, strangers on the internet that'll come by, don't have anything, pleasant to say, and I learned a new word in Spanish I can't remember what that word was, but it translated to horrible. And I was just like, I don't fucking care. If you understood what I was saying in English, you'd see that this wasn't serious. But anyway, so I forget what we were just talking about, but
It doesn't
just the
matter.
whole idea of, it's just like as long as there's no need to try to tear down other people.
Yeah.
And I really do feel like, I'm not a psychologist or anything, and I probably read too much other stuff, but when people behave a certain way, it comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
And they do say that a lot of
Projection.
a lot of things that have shaped us might be related to traumas that were before age 7, and we don't recognize it because of our age, and also things that so some of those folks that have nothing pleasant to say, it's like my heart hurts for some of them, because I do know that that probably comes from something that hurts them that they haven't dealt with yet. And I hurt for them, but I'm also not going to be a doormat and let them be a fucking asshole, because that's not going to, make anything better. But it's just very important. It's just be kind and keep lifting each other. And if you don't have a kind thing to say, then walk away without saying the shit you wanted to say, because it speaks more about you than it does about the person you're trying to tear down.
Yeah. The term "it's better out than in" only works with farts. That's how I put it. Don't apply it to your mouth. Right? Keep the bullshit inside. Just shut the fuck up. I've got 2 more questions. They're quick ones. Then we're going to play our last 5-minute track.
Right.
If you're on a deserted island and you didn't have a volleyball to name and be friends with, what album would help you get through the time of being lost and near death?
Album. All right, so we already know that Blondie Parallel Lines is my favorite album, my first album. But if I had to pick something else, the other day I was talking to somebody about the Beatles, Please Please Me. I don't know if that was their first or just one of their early ones, but I remember I was in high school, and of course it's so long since I've listened to it, but I remember being able to sing along with every track, and that was my happy space. Me and one of my best friends, my childhood best friends, we just loved, coming home after school and just doing musical stuff. So yeah, that's my album. We'll just go with Please Please Me.
Brilliant. And the famous last question. If you were giving advice to somebody who is starting out making music or just being creative in general, what would be the best time for them to start doing so?
Right now. There's no need to delay, and
Boom.
no need to think about it. Just go and fucking do it. And we agree, make mistakes, because if you've made mistakes, that means you've been doing something. I stumbled into how I'm doing stuff as far as playing ukulele, and I don't mind letting folks see me make mistakes, because maybe that encourages other folks to try. And it's like, you don't have to go and document it like I do, but just be okay with learning and growing and asking others for help. That is another thing with this community. There's a lot of folks that know how to do what they do, and they are very receptive if you go and ask them a question or for assistance or whatever. I said the other night that Hugh is one of the people that's been really helpful and encouraging on my guitar journey, and that's that's a kindness, because I could go and take actual lessons, but I don't want to go that route, because number one, you have to find somebody that you connect with, because everybody, people don't necessarily teach the way somebody learns. And so, but with a friend who's willing to invest some time to just give me pointers, I'm very grateful for that.
Spot on. Thank you, Leenie, so much for coming on. Laurie, thanks for the super chat you just put through. And look at this. Join Leenie, me, Jade, Leela, Hugh, Hippie, and more tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Gary, before Gary's show. They don't know about this yet. We do know about it, Laurie. Weirdo. God. We know. What do you think? All right. Thank you so much for coming and spending time with me today.
Thank you.
And
I appreciate the invite and the opportunity to hopefully reach the folks who needed to hear whatever we had to say today.
you are such a kind and beautiful soul and very talented, very, very talented, yeah, and beautiful to boot on the outside as well as inside. And we're very lucky to have you in the community. I think, you know, what you provide is completely different than everybody else. And I just love it. I think it's very inspirational, and I love all that kind of stuff because we need more inspiration instead of bullshit cutting people down. We're going to close today's show with giggles and F-bombs because that's what everybody's here for. Not say, and it says here on the video, not safe for work after 3 minutes, Ted. What a beautiful way to go out. I want to thank everybody here in the chat for sticking along and being very supportive of not only this channel, but the guests that I have on that I love very dearly. Immediately after the show, I'll dump you over to Pete Johns. I will be on Pete Johns' show after this as well. I've got to quickly get offline and jump over there. We're going to be talking about all things YouTube and analytics. So if you want to find out some secrets about YouTube and just watch two silly old fuddy-duddies talk about YouTube nonsense, come and join us tomorrow on the channel. Walk with me. I went to my hometown when I was a child, went back to my family home, went to an abattoir. There's a lot of weird shit that happened yesterday. And lastly, I met up with somebody from YouTube. Indeed. This guy right here. You can't tell because he's wearing a mask. You'll have to watch tomorrow to find out more. All right. Let's get out of here. Let's play this, and then we'll see you all over at Pete's. Thank you again, Leenie. Lots of love. Anything you want to say goodbye to anybody?
I just want to say goodbye to everybody who stopped in. It was I'm gonna have to go back to the replay to re-chat, and I know you guys. I appreciate all the kindness that you shared today. So make sure that after you leave here, you go out and be kind to others elsewhere.
All right.
Thank you, Jade.
Mwah. Let's Oj, and you can jump off the call at any time because I'm going to have to split straight away. Normally I hang around afterwards and have a chat, but I can't today. So, all right, this is Giggles and F-bombs. Grab onto your ankles, you weirdos, because we're going to have some swears to go out. Let's Oj! Do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better.
Hit the fucking like.
We'll all rise together and stay awake, my friends. Let's Oj!
I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So here we go. I couldn't see how every sun pointed straight to you. Is it that bad? No, I won't be afraid. I won't sing it right either. I want to talk. My hand's sweaty too. I forgot the next verse. Love your love and I forgot the lyrics again. Hear the sound. dumb. Alright.
First words and did it again.
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea. Don't know what I'm gonna do. And you just can't fall asleep. Oh. I'll do something for you.
As a modern princess, I demand answers to questions like, what the fuck is wrong with people? To make fuck. To make fuck. to make you love me. Happy Tacos and Tiaras Tuesday. This is fuck.
Do it.
Fuck.
I'll be the
Fuck.
who's that happy boots been under? Who's a
Fuck.
these are the days.
Fuck.
These are the days.
Fuck. I did it again. You'll remember. Fucking chords you'll remember.
I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking of the right words to say.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Gotta be fucking kidding me.
Mr. X, you had to go.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. I don't think this is happening today.
In the chilly hours.
I can't do this. I'm tired. I'm tired.